Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll discuss about a company which was there in my watch list since the last 1 year and now has finally entered my portfolio. So before starting the video, I'd like to tell you Motilal Oswal has various business verticals. So discussing about each of the industries won't be possible. Now, let's see why the company was there in my watch list in the first place. The reason is the management of the company. In the right hand side, we have Mr. Motilal Oswal and on the left, it's Mr. Ramadevji Agarwal. So recently, I was reading a book, Masterclass with the Super Investors, in which Mr. Ramadevji Agarwal explained how subtle the beginnings were for Motilal Oswal as a company and how they have scaled up in the past. And all that is reflected in the numbers. In the end, I would just like to say that that if someone can build a strong brand in the financial services industry, it is them, and I trust my money with them. Motilal Oswal has four business verticals. First, the asset management business, capital markets business, fund-based investments, and the housing finance business. So we'll discuss about each of these businesses in brief in the later slides. First, the asset management business. So in the asset management business, they have the mutual fund, they have the portfolio management service, they have the wealth management business, and they have their own private equity fund and real estate fund. Being in the industry since the last few years, I know how the AUM of a business scales up. So the first 100 crores are really tough to get. You have to spend a lot on branding. You have to push your products among the distributors, and you have to prove your investors that you have an edge over your peers. When you have built a strong relationship with your customers, they have no reason to leave you. And the next 100 crores come in a fraction of time compared to the first 100 crores. Now, coming back to Motilal Oswal, they have their PMS since 2002, which has created significant alpha over the indices, and they control 12% of the total AUM of the industry. And their mutual fund business, which is relatively new, they just started in 2013 and are still scaling up. So, as you can see in this slide, their mutual fund AUM has increased three times in the last 5 years. And in the next bull market, I believe their AUM will increase in a non-linear manner. Also, one important thing to note is that majority of the funds are equity based, which have higher yields and which helps in the profitability of the business. SIP business is really important for any fund house as it provides fixed business to the fund house because of its sticky nature. As you can see in this slide, the SIP inflows for Motilal Oswal has increased from 1 billion in quarter 1 FY17 to 4 billion in quarter 4 FY20. We should not be discouraged by the recent downfall in the SIP inflows as equities are underperforming since the last 2 years. Another thing that I love about the fund management business is its operating leverage. As you can see, the EBITDA margins for Motilal Oswal Asset Management has increased from 20% to 40% in the last 5 years, and the profit after tax is up 7 times. This is because you need a similar infrastructure for a 100 crore fund as well as 1,000 crore fund. So there's massive operating leverage, as you can see. So, in the wealth management business, Motilal Oswal provides their HNI clients with investment products like portfolio management service, mutual funds, alternate investment funds. So basically, they act as distributors for other fund houses. So in this slide, you can see that their wealth management AUM is up three times in the last 5 years. Also, tail income, which is the fixed income for every year, covers majority of the fixed costs. So when the AUM increases further, the profitability will increase in a non-linear manner. The strategy with Motilal Oswal is applying in the wealth management business is to increase the number of relationship managers to increase the sales. So as you can see in this graph, the number of relationship managers has increased from 77 in FY16 to 129 in FY20. And similarly, the sales have increased from 1470 crores to 2400 crores in just 9 months of FY20. So when these new relationship managers will mature in the organization and deepen the relationship with the clients, the business will improve significantly. Motilal Oswal also has a private equity and a real estate fund. So as you can see, the AUM for the private equity and the real estate funds have increased two times in the last 5 years. Also, in these funds, Motilal Oswal has provided much superior returns compared to the index. So before talking about the capital markets business, which consists of broking and investment banking, I'd like to tell about the structure of the industry. So we have discount brokers, and then we have full service brokers. The full service brokers provide their clients with research services as well. But now what is happening is that the small brokers who don't have strong research backend and can't provide the clients with discounted brokerages are losing market share big time. So there's a similar trend over here as well. Motilal Oswal acquired just 48,000 clients in FY 2016, and now in FY 20, they have acquired 248,000 clients. So as you can see, there's a big time consolidation happening in the industry. Now let's talk about the active clients of Motilal Oswal. So as you can see, the number of active clients has increased from 1,50,000 to 3,20,000, and the market share has increased from 2% to 4%. So we can clearly see that there's big time consolidation happening in the industry, and the increase in the number of active clients of Motilal Oswal is in line with the top leader of the industry, that is ICICI Securities. The most prestigious thing that any broking company has is the data of its customers. Motilal Oswal has been leveraging on that and is distributing investment products and insurance products to their clients. So that AUM has increased from 18 billion to 90 billion in financial year 2020. And as a percentage of total clients, the penetration has increased from 6% to 16%, which management believes can go to 30% in the next few years. Average daily turnover of the broking business is increasing rapidly. That is because of the participation of the retail clients in the industry. Also, we can see the average daily turnover is up 4 times in the last 4 years, and I believe this momentum will sustain because of the increasing active customers. Obviously, the yields have decreased because of the discount brokerages, so that is one thing to worry about. So a few years back, Motiar Oswal started their own housing finance business. So whenever you start a new business vertical, you have to pay a learning fee, but you have to ensure that that learning fee does not impair your balance sheet forever. I agree. The last few years for the housing finance business has not been so good. We'll discuss about that in the later slides. But now, let me tell you about the housing finance business in brief. So basically, Motilal Oswal focuses on affordable housing. The average ticket size of loans that they disperse is just 8.8 lakh rupees. And as you can see from the chart, the net interest margin is 5.3%, which is pretty high. That is because the product is designed for high NPAs. Over the past few years, Motilal Oswal has been continuously investing more money into its housing finance business. So this has decreased the leverage ratios of the business. The leverage ratios have decreased from 5 times to 3.2 times. So this ensures that in the future, when things turn normal, they'll have a lot of room to increase disbursements in the future. Now, let's look at the capital adequacy ratio of the business. So a capital adequacy ratio shows how much risk can the business absorb. So as you can see, the capital adequacy ratio of Motilal Oswal Housing Finance is pretty high. This makes the housing finance business best placed to sail through these tough times. Also, because of these high capital adequacy ratios, management expects that there will be no capital infusion in the coming year. Whenever we look at a finance business, we need to look at the non-performing assets of the business. So as you can see, in the initial years of the business, Motilal Oswal Housing Finance did a terrible job at dispersing loans. The gross non-performing assets were 10.4% of the total book, which is horrible. Also, you can see the gross non-performing assets decreased to 2.4% in quarter two of FY 20. That is because they sold 540 crores of the NPA book to an asset recovery company at a 50% haircut. In the end, I'd like to say now the legacy book issues are behind them, and in the future, I believe housing finance business will contribute significantly to the bottom line. Also that there's a reduction in NPAs, the cost of funds will lower in the coming times. Now, let's discuss about the revenues of the company. As we know, financial services industry has a really cyclical nature. The last few years for the industry as a whole has not been so good. Even after that, the revenues of the company have increased from 1800 crores to 2600 crores in FY 2020. The major contributors for the growth were the asset management business and the broking business. The rest of the businesses did not do so good because of the slowdown in the economy. This slide, we discuss about the profitability of each of the business verticals that Motilal Oswal operates in. The total profits that are there below are X of the fund-based investment that the company does. You must have noticed that we have not talked much about the fund-based investments. That is because there's nothing much to talk about. The company has 1,200 crore worth of investments in various debt funds, its own investment products, as of 31st March 2020. So in this table, you can see the profits for the AMC has increased 3 times in the last 4 years. And for the broking business, the profits are up 80%. In the later slides, we learn why I believe the markets are not even giving proper value to the AMC and the broking business together. And also, the markets have completely written off all the other business verticals that Motilal Oswal operates in and have a long growth runway ahead of them. In this slide, we can see how beautifully Motilal Oswal has scaled up their AMC business. They just contributed 16% of the profits in 2017 to 39% of the total profits in year 2020. And in the future, I believe all the other businesses which are not contributing right now will significantly contribute to the profit pool going forward. The best way to value a business with various business verticals is to compare it with each of its closest peers. So the closest peers for Motilal Oswal Broking will be ICICI Securities and IIFL Securities. I agree that ICICI Securities deserves high valuations because of its strong backing, but the rate at which Motilal Oswal is acquiring customers is at par with ICICI Securities and is much faster than what IIFL Securities is doing. So to conclude, given that the industry is going through a consolidation phase and the strong cash flows of the broking business, I would value the business at 3 to 4,000 crores. The closest peers to Motilal Oswal's asset management company is HDFC AMC and Nippon AMC. Obviously, the size of HDFC AMC and Nippon AMC is much larger compared to Motilal Oswal's AMC, and Motilal Oswal AMC is still scaling up. Also, one thing which works in favor of Motilal Oswal is that majority of its funds are equity based, which have much higher yields and helps to increase profitability. Given that the company is still scaling up and has a long growth runway ahead of it, I would give the AMC business a value of 4 to 5,000 crores. All these relative valuations were to just give you a perspective and is not how you should value a business. The sole purpose of this video was to bring a business which is going through some turbulent times but has a great size of opportunity ahead of it in your radar. Videos like these take a lot of time and effort to make. So please like the video and subscribe to my channel.